Friendship fades, unhelpful friends. Once upon a time, there was a bunny rabbit who had many friends. He was very proud of his friends, and he thought they would always be there to help him. One day, the bunny rabbit was playing in the forest when he heard a loud barking sound. He looked up and saw a pack of wild dogs chasing him. The bunny rabbit was scared, and he didn't know what to do. He ran to his friend the deer and said, "Help me, deer. The wild dogs are chasing me." The deer said, "I'm sorry, bunny rabbit. I can't help you right now. I'm too busy eating." The bunny rabbit was disappointed, but he didn't give up. He ran to his friend the bear and said, "Help me, bear. The wild dogs are chasing me." The bear said, "I'm sorry, bunny rabbit. I can't help you right now. I'm too tired. I need to sleep." The bunny rabbit was starting to get scared. He ran to his friend the monkey and said, "Help me, monkey. The wild dogs are chasing me." The monkey said, "I'm sorry, bunny rabbit. I can't help you right now. I'm too busy playing." The bunny rabbit was running out of options. He didn't know what to do. He was scared and alone. Just then, the bunny rabbit had an idea. He ran to a nearby bush and hid under it. He lay very still, and the wild dogs didn't see him. The wild dogs ran past the bush, and the bunny rabbit was safe. The bunny rabbit learned a valuable lesson that day. He learned that it's important to be able to help yourself, and not to rely on others all the time. He also learned that it's important to have friends who are willing to help you when you need it. Moral of the story: it's important to be able to help yourself, and to have friends who are willing to help you when you need it. The Race of Selfishness, Greedy Boy. Once upon a time, there were two boys named Sam and Tom who looked exactly alike. They were so similar that even their mom had trouble telling them apart when they were babies. But even though they looked the same, they were very different in many ways. Sam didn't have many friends, but Tom was really good at making friends. Sam loved sweet treats, while Tom preferred spicy food and didn't like sweets at all. Sam was really close to their mom, and Tom was a daddy's boy. Most importantly, Sam was generous and always thought of others, while Tom was selfish and always wanted more for himself. As Sam and Tom grew older, their dad wanted to share his money equally between them. But Tom didn't agree. He said that the one who was smarter and stronger should get a bigger share. Sam thought that was fair, so they decided to have a competition to prove who deserved more. Their dad told them to walk as far as they could and come back before the sun went down. The amount of money they would get would be based on how far they walked. There was just one rule: they couldn't bring a watch to keep track of time. The next day, Sam and Tom started their walk. It was a sunny day, and Sam walked at a steady pace. But Tom wanted to win and get more money, so he ran as fast as he could. Sam knew that if he walked halfway and turned back at noon, he would be able to make it home on time. But Tom's greed got the better of him. He didn't turn back even after it was past noon. He walked twice as far as Sam, thinking he could still make it back before sunset. However, when the sun started turning orange, he realized he had made a big mistake. He was still far from home, and it was getting darker. He had to give up and go back home with tired feet. Tom lost the race because he was too greedy. This story teaches us that being greedy can lead to losing out on things that are more important.
There was a king who oversaw a kingdom where everyone lived happily and prosperously. The king decided to embark on a journey to visit important historical places and pilgrimage sites. Rather than traveling in luxury, he chose to walk and meet his people along the way. The people in distant places were thrilled to have the opportunity to talk to their king and admired his kind heart. The king came back to his palace, spending several weeks of travel. He was happy to have visited many places and seen his people living well. However, he had one regret. His feet were in excruciating pain from the long journey, as it was his first time traveling such a distance on foot. He complained to his ministers about the uncomfortable and rocky roads, worrying that his people would also suffer from the pain. As a result of his worries, the king ordered his staff the task of wrapping all the kingdom's roadways with leather so that the people could travel comfortably. The ministers were shocked by this command, as it would require slaughtering numerous cows for the leather and cost a tremendous amount of money. Then, a wise man from the ministry approached the king with an alternative idea. He suggested that instead of covering the roads with leather, the king could simply have a piece of leather cut into the shape of footwear to protect his own feet. The king was surprised by this suggestion and praised the wisdom of the minister. He ordered a pair of leather shoes for himself and encouraged all the people in his kingdom to do the same. The moral of the story is that rather than trying to change the world, we should focus on changing ourselves.
Once upon a time, in a village, there was an old man who had 17 special camels. These camels gave milk, which the old man sold. One day, the old man passed away and left a letter for his 3 sons. In the letter, the old man said that he wanted to share his camels equally among his sons. But there was a problem because 17 cannot be divided equally by 3. The sons were confused and didn't know how to divide the camels. They went to a wise man in the village for help. The wise man had a clever solution. He asked the sons to bring all the camels to him. Then he added 1 camel of his own to the group, making it a total of 18 camels. The wise man told the eldest son to take half of the camels. That meant he could have 9 camels. Then the wise man told the middle son to take 1/3 of the camels. So he got 6 camels. Lastly, the wise man told the youngest son to take 1/9 of the camels. He got 2 camels. When they added up the camels each son received, 9 plus 6 plus 2, they had a total of 17 camels, just like what their father had. The wise man took back his own camel, and the sons were happy with their fair share of camels. The moral of the story is that sometimes, when things seem difficult, there is always a solution if we think creatively and ask for help from wise people. Once there was a clever merchant who owned a donkey. They often traveled together to the market to sell goods. One sunny day, the merchant loaded the donkey's back with bags of salt, and they set off on their journey. As they walked along, they came across a river. Sadly, the donkey lost control and plunged into the water. When it got back on its feet, it noticed that the bags of salt had become lighter because the water had dissolved some of it. The merchant had no choice but to return home and reload the donkey with more bags of salt. They continued on their way, but once again, the donkey deliberately fell into the river. This time, the merchant understood the donkey's trick. The salt was wasted once more. Determined to teach the donkey a lesson, the merchant loaded bags of sponges onto its back during their 3rd attempt. When they reached the river again, the donkey repeated its act of falling into the water. However, this time the sponges soaked up the water and became heavy, making the load even harder for the donkey to carry. The merchant laughed and told the donkey, "You foolish donkey, your trick has been discovered. You should be aware that you can never fool someone too many times." The donkey realized its mistake and learned that deceit doesn't lead to favorable outcomes. From that day forward, the donkey and the merchant continued their journeys with honesty and trust, building a stronger bond between them.